Like, this was the talk of the town at Turning Point USA. If I'm Charlie Kirk, I'm my pants right now. Charlie Kirk is the administration's guy, right? He's the inside guy, and he's holding these events. And his job here is to basically try and keep the Trump boat from sinking. And every single media superstar that he has at the Turning Points conference is screaming about Israel and is screaming about the Epstein files, which is also somewhat connected to Israel as well. And it's crazy. You can't control this. How are you going to, exactly, his job is to placate Trump. How are you going to placate Trump if every single person at your conference is literally demanding this? In some ways, it feels like when Democrats run and claim that they're going to do health care, and then they never do health care. When Republicans run and they create unique problems that are not real problems at all, but at least like demand people's attention, shift their priorities away from their material circumstances over to like vulnerable populations that must be dominated, they actually follow through on those promises. You know, whether it be stopping trans athletes from participating in the NCAA or whatever, right? This was a problem that they also pointed to and said they would offer a solution to, and now they're not. So now Republicans, for the first time ever, are like, wait a minute, but this is, but we're used to getting what we want. I mean, you even did abortion. So why won't you do this? Why won't you do this? Yeah. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Stop talking about it, girls and sometimes gals, guys and sometimes gals. Why must you be talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Nobody cares. This guy won't die. He won't go away. Do not talk about him.
Camera saying she had tens of thousands of videos of Epstein and little children. It was like, what? Well, we never heard that. We heard he was into the barely legal type, you know, the like 18-year-old.
I love the Trump deflections are so funny that when people post it in the chat, I laugh every time. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking. We have Texas. We have this. We have all the things. And people are still talking about this guy, this creep. That is unbelievable. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Like, his deflections have been so haphazard, put together last second, clearly scared. Like, you can see the fear in the way that in the tone that he takes when talking about Jeffrey Epstein, that you're laughing. Trump's begging you to stop talking about Epstein and you're laughing. I said this already. I said this before, remember? When Trump is unique because he's the type of dude to talk about Jeffrey Epstein, right? Like, that's what people like about him. That's what people like about Trump, is that he would just like he would just like weave in random sometimes conspiracy theories and whatnot into places where it didn't belong. That's what people liked about him. And now he's like, why are you talking about Jeffrey Epstein? It's like what you would expect from a Democrat. You know what I mean? Like the smarmy, smug, elitist, why do you care about this? You shouldn't care about this ass tone about an issue that things do care about. I could hear like Joe Biden saying that about healthcare. You know what I mean? Oh, come on, Jack, we're doing NATO. Why do you care about healthcare? You know what I mean? It's like that's not something you expect from Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the guy who is supposed to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. So now he's doing this. Obviously, people are going to be like, the f do you mean? Why do I care about this? You made me care about this.
What? Well, we never heard that. We heard he was into the barely legal type, you know, the like 18-year-olds who look 14, but we didn't hear about children. And then because
we did hear about that. What the f are you talking about?
She was caught once again shooting off her mouth inappropriately. Attorneys General of the United States normally say nothing. They say nothing.
Merrick Garland had one press conference a year.
Yes, nothing. Bill Barr, you couldn't get him to speak or say anything.
What? They're criticizing Pam Bondi for speaking out of turn too much? Again, that's her position. Donald Trump hired these people because they're gay. Grade A yappers, okay? That's why they were hired. GAY, grade A yappers. He hired them with the express purpose of yapping. He knew that they were yappers. That's why Pete Hegseth is the Secretary of Defense. Not because he can command, millions of people under his employ, but because he can chirp. He's telegenic. He's loyal to Trump above all else, and he can talk.
Even Eric Holder was less chatty than this. So she got caught on camera, and she decided to cover up the James O'Keefe slip by then running to a real camera and being like, there are tens of thousands of videos of the children, and I'm announcing it all. So once again, she didn't give that to the influencers. And then she slides it into this memo.
So I have a dumb question. Maybe it's not dumb. So it's so she had doubled down on the videos. Is that correct, Megan?
Yes. Now she's tripled down.
Epstein was not the perp in every one of those videos.
I don't mean to say this why are you talking about this way, but do you think the 4 hours alone you've talked about this topic signals the Trump admin's goal of distracting from deportations has worked? I've talked about the deportations every single time and every single day, with the exception of today. Okay, if you think that this is the Epstein stuff is a distraction away from the deportations, you are out of your mind. As a matter of fact, Trump would never want anyone to talk about Epstein, and Trump would want everyone to be constantly talking about the deportations, because guess what? Deportations are for his base. The base seemingly, or at least to their calculation, loves the deportations. They don't, but that's a different point. Also, I was just talking about the deportations when we were talking about Tucker Carlson's statements about 65 million immigrants and whatnot. Okay? So no, I've been in this chat longer than y'all chatters, and I work in labor organizing, broader social media too. I mean, no. Jeffrey Epstein is a major issue. And it's a major issue that is actually driving a wedge between Trump and his base, unlike any other issue. There have been plenty of other things that have taken place in this administration, and people have written extensively about are the tariffs driving a wedge between Jeffrey, or the tariffs driving a wedge between Trump and the base or whatever? No, not like this, okay? This is the single most, for his base, for the MAGA base, this is the single most important issue, okay? Because it's exactly the type of thing that the base understandably demands answers on that Trump can offer almost unilaterally. Do you see what I mean? We've seen literal Trump voters be like, Trump deported my wife, but I still don't think it was a bad decision to vote for him. But I've yet to see people convincingly talk about how Trump is a pedophile and probably associated with Jeffrey Epstein, but it's okay because he's our pedophile. That part has not happened yet. Okay, we have not gotten to that point yet. We might, some certainly will, but it's, I think, very important to see how Republican speakers identify this issue and try to communicate this issue. And it's important to see how whether the Republicans will take it or not. So far, they have yet to take the bait.
Videos.
So because they've been so ambiguous,
no, but
we're
let's
not
just
sure.
think about this. Unless we're led to believe that Epstein himself personally raped all these kids, children, or whatever, then isn't the statute of limitations on child rape basically infinite?
Well,
so then why are we not indicting the people that were doing the raping that we have on video? What's that all about?
Yeah.
No, you know this better than I do. So Epstein's dead. He's met his hopefully eternal fire where he deserves in the pit of hell. But if it's true, the Attorney General of the United States said, just remind me, we have thousands of videos.
She said that we've got thousands of videos showing child pornography.
And she doubled down on that. So
tripled.
So you have to infer Jeffrey Epstein was not the only person involved in that.
Well, no, let me tell you what I've gleaned. But since she's been so ambiguous, take it with a grain of salt. Okay, she won't have a presser. She won't give an interview. She won't answer any hard questions. All we get is the unsigned paper memo, 2 pages to Axios, who won't ask any questions. So what I think she's saying is that she's found, allegedly, tens of thousands of screen grabs of child pornography. They call it child sexual abuse material now. It's C-SCAN. And that's what she says they found on his hard drives, he was into this form of porn, off the internet. But separately, they say he had at least 1,000 victims, of his.
No, okay, but 1,000 victims, unless we are to believe he personally was after every one of those victims, there has to be some other bad guys still alive that are powerful that did something to these children. Why are we not impaneling a special prosecutor to find every single one of these powerful people that went after these kids? Like, what? Why are we putting up with this?
Yeah, I don't know. And I think you'll find out.
Am I understanding this correctly? Because I don't even remember.
I can't answer that.
I don't even know Pam Bondi said that. I can't even remember all this because it's all over. I got a thing on my desk. I got truckloads of stuff.
Yeah, no, we all have busy lives, and President Trump has a busy life, and I don't think he realizes how much she's humiliated the administration. This is a self-inflicted wound. She caused it. Again, I have nothing against Pam Bondi, but if you want to look for the villain in this story, we have found her.
Yeah, it's not Trump. It's Pam Bondi. That's the real villain here. Please don't yell at Trump. I love how much they are like trying, the outsiders and the media people whose job it is to read the room recognize how angry people are, okay, in the base. So Trump doesn't want to let go of Pam Bondi. That much is clear. That's precisely the reason why he made that statement about like, guys and sometimes gals, please don't yell at Pam Bondi, right? But the media people understand that they have their own careers. They have their own careers outside of the Trump administration. They also require a steady, like they obviously play a formative role in dominating the conversation, but this is a piece of discourse that's not going away, and they recognize that, which is precisely the reason why they're like, come on, give us something, fire somebody in the admin, otherwise it's not going to go away. All of these conversations that they're having is actually for one guy and one guy only. This is not for the audience that's in the room. This is for Donald Trump. Okay, this is for Donald Trump. They are saying, give the people a scapegoat because otherwise you're cooked. You are not going to be able to solve the situation with your endless charisma. Okay?
I mean, she is the person she's either lying now or she was lying then. There's no two ways about it. And if you accept what's in the memo, that they don't have the goods on anybody, there's no one who can be indicted, they didn't find a trove of info on other people, then why was she trying to titillate us over a child sexual abuse case for months? She was on the air repeatedly in February, in March, again in May.
Yeah, this is what the out is. Pam Bondi lied. People died. Pam Bondi lied about like the list, which is not going to be a convincing enough argument. It's better than what Trump is trying to do. It's better than what Trump is trying to do, which is to say, no, Pam Bondi didn't lie. It's the Democrats that wrote the list. So please don't look at the list. We can't release it because some of our faves will be implicated. Okay. The reality is, these guys think that as long as Trump says like, oh, Pam Bondi actually lied about the contents of this Jeffrey Epstein list and it was a big nothing burger, he doesn't, like, they don't realize that that's not going to be enough for the base. The base is going to be like, okay, you fired Pam Bondi. We still want the list. What the fuck do you mean there is no list? When are they going to blame DEI? Yeah, when they fire Pam Bondi, they're going to be like, we shouldn't have put a woman in charge.
It's completely inappropriate. You don't play cutesy with child sexual abuse material.
So, Megan, I don't mean to interrupt. I mean, first of all, you're totally right. But you know the media, you know you've been around the space of like hyper ambitious women. What is this? Analyze her for us.
Oh my God, oh my God, right as I said it. Oh my God, there it is. Yeah, hyper ambitious woman in the media. You know how it is. You know how these bitches are. Oh, DEI, baby.
Well, I think she wants to make a name for herself. What she really wants to be is a star. That's what I think she wants. That's why she runs to the cameras on Fox News. There's no other reason. Look back at the attorneys general. Seriously, do you ever...
You have a chud brain. I understand the mind of a right-winger better than a right-winger understands themselves. God, I could be such a good right-wing commentary person. It's not even, it requires it requires very little thinking. I swear to God, I could do this better than every single one of these. I swear to God, except for maybe like Tucker Carlson. That's why I always laugh when people are like, Hasan, you're a grifter. But I also hate you for being honest about your points of view, even if the point of view that you're demonstrating is like broadly unpopular in mainstream media, even though maybe it'll take a year or so for a lot of people to arrive at your conclusions that you came to after years and years of reading. You know, I could do it. I could do it so hard. I could do it so easily. If I wanted to grift, I would just be a right winger. Oh my God. So stupid.
Ever remember knowing an attorney general like this? Or like even having the Attorney General's voice in your head? I can barely remember Merrick Garland's weird little nasally voice, but I mean, it's in there. But the average person couldn't pick him out of a lineup, because normally attorneys general are somber, serious people who are fairly annoying, but they're schooled in the law. Pam Bondi has one trait, and I think it's why Trump chose her. She's loyal to the president. And I get it. He does need somebody loyal, especially in that position. But he has a wealth of other options.
Well, I mean, I think Judge Jeanine is amazing. Do we like Judge Jeanine? Everything I like Judge Jeanine.
Judge Jeanine would be brilliant. Harmeet Dillon would be brilliant.
So you're calling for...
They're still going for Fox News personalities to do the job of Attorney General. That is crazy.
For Pam Bondi to resign or to go. But can you please tell people the breaking news? According to reports that you have verified, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino will resign if what does not happen?
If she doesn't go.
So
I only have it on Bongino.
It's all over X though.
No, I know, but let me just tell you what my reporting is. Bongino, it's Bongino or Bondi. He's not
Who
saying...
would you guys prefer, Bongino or Bonnie? Okay, 7,000 to 0.
They want Dan. Of course, Dan, you know why? Because Dan understands MAGA. Dan's part of the MAGA movement. Dan's been an important piece of it and a mouthpiece for like really important ideas and an advocate and a fierce warrior. He's been in the trenches. I mean, with all due respect to Pam Bondi, she's been in Florida. She represented the president. It's nice, but do you think she really gets MAGA? I don't think so. She wouldn't have behaved this way if she did. And now it's a time for choosing. It's a time for choosing. We're about to lose Dan for sure, and maybe Kash too, if she doesn't go. Now she's got some allies. I mean, I think Susie Wiles is close with her, and Susie Wiles is amazing. And look, there's not that many like powerful women in the administration. Maybe she wants to keep her. She's from Florida. Susie Wiles from Florida. Trump lives in Florida. But this has gone well beyond this. Like, this could actually cost Trump in the midterms. We need to make a smart choice right now. We can't lose any of the MAGA base.
And let me just also reiterate this. And by no means did I want...
I can see Dan quitting, but I doubt Kash would quit, because Dan actually has or had a career outside of this, whereas Kash never really had a serious career outside of this. It's the funniest thing to be a guy who's like, I had a robust media career. I was getting unlimited Rumble bucks. I had a life. I could just sit around in my podcast studio and do podcasts. And now you cooked me. You're cooking my future. What the does Kash Patel have? Nothing. He wrote children's books.
Our very big Student Action Summit talk about Epstein, the entire, like, of all the things. I'm not like Epstein obsessed. Some people, their YouTube channel, it's all they talk about.